Hey everyone, welcome back to our Pandas Basics series. In this video, we're going to load data from CSV and JSON files, explore it quickly with methods like head, tail, info, and describe, and finally, save data back to CSV and JSON. By the end, you know how to handle datasets efficiently and get a quick overview of your data. Let's jump right in. So, as you can see right now, I'm in my code editor in VS Code, and I have already prepared a few files. So we have pandas part2.py here, which we'll write our code in. You also see here I have sample data.csv, which has some example datasets, and sample data.json. We're going to use both of those files to work with, and they will be used for examples. Don't worry, both of those files will be in my GitHub repository, which I will put in the video description. So I have prepared some code in advance. This is what we're going to cover for today. It's not that much, but it is very important. So let me just comment everything, and let's now get to business. First, we're going to read from our CSV file. Basically, when we say that you read from it, the CSV file will return into Pandas data frame. And this is how it goes. We have data frame underscore CSV equals Pandas read CSV, and here we're putting the path to our file. In our case, this is within the data directory and sample data.csv. Afterwards, we print it. So let's see how this code works out. Let's wait a bit. All right, we have it. Here you can see we already have our Pandas data frame. We have name, age, city, and all of the entries are here. This is how it is done. Something else that you can consider, basically, you can choose a separator. So how this goes? In CSV files, the default separator is a comma. However, let us try and use a dot and a comma. Let's save this file here, and let's save it once again. We can choose a custom separator by including sep equals, and we're going to have another separator. Let's now run this code and see what happens. All right, you see name, age, and city. We have Alice, 24, New York, and here we have not a number, and everything is included. Everything that's in a comma is just not done the right way. So let's now remove that. We don't need it. And let's bring our file back to normal. Yeah, everything's good. This is how we read from our CSV file. Let's now do it with the JSON file. Let's comment this one. Let's start with the JSON file. The same way, it will turn our JSON file into a Pandas data frame. And here, let me just clear everything out and do it once again. All right, so you can see it clearer now. We have all of the entries: title, author, year, available, and all of the names and everything. So this is basically done the same way as in the CSV file. Let's now look at the methods that are used to quickly overview the data. We have the head method. Let's just real quick print that one so it doesn't bother us. We have the head method, and what does this do? On this one, we clear everything here. The head method by default shows us the first 5 entries from top to bottom, and here is how it goes. You see, we have only the first 5 entries. Initially there were 10, as you saw earlier, but we now see only the first 5. We can also choose a custom number. Maybe let's go with number 2, and let's run it once again. Oops, forgot to save it. Let's run it again. Okay. Now, as you can see here, when it was on the default, it showed us 5 entries. When I entered the number 2, it showed us only 2 entries. We can now choose, let's say, number 7, save it, and run it once again. It will show us 7 entries. Basically, the head method shows us the number that we specify of entries from top to bottom, and the default is 5. So let's comment that one, and let's uncomment that one. Let's clear everything. And now we're with the tail method. The tail method is the exact opposite of head. It shows us the entries from bottom to the top. And the default, once again, is 5. If I put here number 2, save it, run it once again, it will show us only the last 2 entries. If I put number 7 and save it, and then run it once again, it will show us the last 7 entries. That's basically how this works. That's how this method works. They're very useful if you want just to take a quick look at the data. Let's comment this one, and let's uncomment that one. So let's also clear everything here. So when we run info, this will show us something different. Basically, info gives a summary of the data frame. It gives the title, author, year available, the non-no count, the data type, and all of the data types that are there, basically. This is very important and very useful if we just want to have an idea of what's inside this data frame. So I'm going to comment it now. And let's now see what describe does. We clear, and we once again we run it. Now you can see there are a lot of things here with the describe method. Let's include this one. Let's just make it larger. Okay. There are a lot of methods. There are a lot of things that we see here. Basically, describe gives a summary statistics for the columns. I'm not going to get into details of everything. You can look that on your own. But basically, this is what describe does. Make sure that if you want to include something specific, I have written include equals all. So let's also comment on that one. Now we're getting into the interesting bits. I need to comment this one as well. All right. We're going to create a dictionary named data that will have name, age, and city, and it will have those 3 entries like Alice, Bob, Charlie, 24, 30, 22, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. So right now we're going to create a data frame from this data, and let's now write in to print that data frame. Great. Let's clear everything here and let's run. Okay, so you see we have it here, the precise data frame that we wanted to create from our dictionary. And how we're going to use it? We're going to save that first into a CSV file and then into a JSON file. So we clear out this one and we uncomment this one. So once we do this, once we run the program now, it will create a brand new CSV file with this data frame. Let's do it. And you can see on the left here, it popped up people.csv. And voila, we have our CSV file right here. There are methods that we can use, something that we can try. Let's delete this one. Let's try and make it index equals true. Let's see how it goes. Let's run it once again. And let's see. All right, you can see here 0, 1, 2. It gives indexes. Great. We now delete it. Let's keep it on false. Here, the first thing in the method is just the way that this file will be called. In our case, people.csv is good enough. Let's now also save it as a JSON file. Now let's uncomment it. The name of the file will be people.json. The orient and indent, those are two things. You can look them for yourself, but basically this is the way that it creates a normal JSON file. I'm going to show you. We run it, and we have let's run the people.csv and people.json. You see here we have name Bob, name Alice, 24 New York, Bob 30 Los Angeles, and Charlie 22 Chicago. Those are the ways that we create our JSON files and CSV files from data frame. And just to summarize everything that we have done by far, we now know, let me comment all of that. We now know how to read a CSV file. We know how to read a JSON file. We understand what the basic methods head, tail, info, and describe do, and we can use them to take a quick look at the data. And most importantly, we can save Pandas data frame into a CSV file and a JSON file. That will be it for today's tutorial. Thank you for watching.